What is the relationship of the different aspects of development with your thoughts, feelings, and actions in dealing with life situation? This is Ma'am Nerissa Beatriz, your personal development teacher, and join me in exploring Module 3, Evaluating Your Thoughts, Feelings, and Actions. Hello everyone, good day. This is Ma'am Neri, your personal development teacher, greeting you all with warmth and positivity as we look forward on another stimulating topic in personal development entitled Module 3, Evaluating Your Thoughts, Feelings, and Actions. Every day you wake up and try to be the best version of yourself by means of constantly improving and taking care of our mind, body, and spiritual self. These three major aspects of yourself allow you to understand your thoughts, feelings, and actions. In this module, you will learn that your holistic development is very much important in sustaining a happy and healthy life, and that you must see it as a lifelong project that you must undertake. At the end of this module, you should be able to evaluate your own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. However, as we explore Module 3, it's important that you learn these important terminologies so that you can have a better understanding and grasp of the lesson. So we have first self-concept. So self-concept is the idea or mental image of one person has of himself, including his strengths, weaknesses, and status. It is also called as self-image. Okay, next we have thought. Thought is the idea, plan, opinion, picture that is formed in your mind. It also means covert, symbolic responses to stimuli that are either intrinsic, that is coming from within, or extrinsic, or coming from the outside or from the environment. Thought or thinking is considered to mediate between inner activity and external stimuli. We also have feeling. So feeling is a physical or emotional experience or awareness. In psychology, it is the perception of events in the body closely related to emotion. And the last one, we have action. When we speak of action, it refers to an act that one consciously wills and that may be characterized by physical or mental activity. Let's now go to the pretest. Direction. Read each statement below carefully. Draw a happy face on the line if you think a statement is true, and you're going to draw a sad face if the statement is untruthful. So you're going to answer this in your journal. So number 1, if I look deeper on the different aspects of myself, I can identify specific areas for self-regulation, stability, and improvement. Number 2, playing songs or writing in a journal help adolescents and teens in identifying their thoughts and feelings. Number 3, I should always believe in everything I think, feel, or see to have a reasonable action or behavior. Number 4, it is important to identify and change unhelpful thinking patterns to avoid negative emotions and inappropriate behaviors. And number 5, the intensity of the emotion that a person has and the situation can affect his ability to think. Okay, so for our first activity in Module 3, we have Activity 1, Aspects of Myself. So what you're going to do is, of course, you're going to write this in your journal notebook and copy the aspects of different chart. Write at least 5 descriptions of the different aspects of yourself as follows. So number 1 is the physical self. You're going to describe yourself Try not to censor any thoughts which come from your mind. You may include descriptions of your height, your weight, facial appearance, and quality of skin, hair, and descriptions of body areas such as your neck, chest, waist, and legs. Then we also have number two, the intellectual self. So what you're going to include here is an assessment of how well you reason and solve problems, your capacity to learn and create, your general amount of knowledge, your specific areas of knowledge, the wisdom you have acquired, and your insights. For the emotional self, you're going to write many words or phrases about typical feelings you have, feelings you seldom have, feelings you try to avoid, and feelings you especially enjoy, feelings from your past and present, and feelings which are associated with each other. And then for number four, we have the sensual self. Write how you feel as a sensual person. What sense do you use most? Sight, hearing, speaking, smelling, touching. How do you feel about the different ways you take in information? Through the eyes, ears, mouth, nose, and skin. And in what ways you let information in and out of your body. Okay, number five is interactional self. So these include descriptions of your strengths and weaknesses in intimate relationships and relationships to friends, family, classmates, and strangers in social settings. Describe the strengths and weaknesses which your friends and family have noticed. Describe what kind of son or daughter, brother or sister you are. Then for number six, we have nutritional self. How do you nourish yourself? What foods do you like and dislike? And what do you like and dislike about this? Okay, so you will also give descriptions on your contextual self. The contextual self includes descriptors in the areas of maintenance of your living environment, such as reaction to light, temperature, space, weather, colors, sound, and seasons, and your impact on the environment. We also have spiritual self or life force. So you will write words or phrases which tell about how you feel in this area. This could include your feelings about yourself and organized religion, reactions about your spiritual connections to others, feelings about your spiritual development and history, and thought about your metaphysical self. Think about your inner peace and joy. Think about your spiritual regimen or routine. Now, after giving descriptions of the different aspects of the self, now put a plus sign in the descriptions that make you confident and proud of yourself. On the other hand, write a minus sign in the descriptions that make you shy or timid. Thank you for answering the activity, my dear students. Now, knowing oneself is the key to having a happy life. It means that you understand well your tolerances and limitations, your needs and aspirations, and your likes and disinclinations. As you journey to knowing yourself more, write something about the 8 segments of your development by answering the following questions. Number one, what are the items which you consider to be a weakness or areas for improvement? Number two, what words which are neutral or factual, such as 5 feet 4 inches tall, 120 pounds? Number three, do some categories have more minus than plus areas? The larger proportion of minus to plus areas you have, the more effort will be needed to achieve positive self-esteem. If the vast majority of your minus responses are in 1 or 2 areas, your self-esteem is likely to be good but has a few self-estimates which need to be improved. And number four, name some ways in which you can improve the minus areas and further enhance the positive aspects. Now, the different segments of yourself make a whole person, and you must continuously work to further enhance your already known strengths and improve your limitations as a person. Now, let us now go to the deepening of the lesson. The self concept is represented by several aspects of the self. It is conceived as collection of multiple context-dependent selves. This construct believes that context activates particular regions of self-knowledge and self-relevant feedback affects self-evaluations and affect. A deeper look on the different aspects of self can identify specific areas for self regulation, stability, and improvement. In a nutshell, an individual is composed of three basic but very different aspects of the self. They are the physical self or the tangible aspects as they relate to the body, the intellectual and conscious aspects as they relate to the mind, and the emotional and intuitive aspects as they relate to the spirit. All three aspects of the self work together in perfect harmony when attention simultaneously. Many individuals put a strong emphasis on the physical aspect of the self. The body is intangible, obvious, and we can respond to it easily. More time and money is spent on enhancing the physical component than either of the two aspects. This does not mean, however, that the body is healthy or strong. The body provides a place to house the spirit, often experienced as feelings, and the mind, often experienced as thought. It may be important to some that their mind be prominent and well educated. The mind is important as it is the part of the self that directs the other two aspects. The mind learns what to do and communicates the information to the body and the feelings. What the mind believes, the body manifests or acts on, and the emotions feel or respond with. People store both healthy and destructive thoughts and beliefs and response to life circumstances in the most prominent manner. The mind provides access, creativity, and serenity, which are necessary for such processes as prayer, forgiveness, acceptance, and passion. Self, as individuals, are reluctant and unprepared to manage them. Managing feelings is like trying to hold water in the palm of your hand. They are elusive and deceptive. A decision made under emotional stress and strain usually impacts emotions negatively. Negative emotions that are not managed are stored and repressed. Repression is destructive to a content self since all feelings, not only negative ones, are stored away. Accessing feelings when they are needed now becomes difficult, leaving the individual numbed and hopeless. For instance, a girl realizes that she is giving much attention on the physical aspects and less attention on her intellectual self. In this way, she can discover how much money and time spent maintaining her physique and its consequences in her grades. By this honest evaluation of herself, she can plan effective actions to improve her study habits. She can start seeking for help and reading related books or browse articles to help her improve her study habits. Think about a situation when you get very angry because of someone and you forget how you behave with people around you. Perhaps you get negative thoughts about this person and then you get bad feelings about him or her, which directly impacts the way you behave in front of that person. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions are interrelated. The connection between these three is best represented here. CBT or cognitive behavioral therapy emphasizes the relationship between our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors. More specifically, how our thoughts change the way that we feel, which subsequently changes the way that we act, which then influences our thoughts. Without intervention, the process continues to repeat. Here is how the cognitive triangle plays out in our day-to-day life. You wake up feeling tired, groggy, and insecure. You have a massive presentation today and you hate having to speak in front of groups. Your thoughts start up. I'm going to mess up. No one is going to like my presentation. I can't even talk in front of a group. How am I going to achieve anything? I'm worthless. I'm a loser. I should just stay home so I don't make a fool out of myself. These thoughts often make up the internal dialogue that we have with ourselves. How many times have you found yourself saying similar things? Now enter feelings. After a morning filled with internal verbal assault, you're feeling even worse. You feel extremely anxious about your upcoming presentation. Overall, you're feeling really bad about yourself, and the last thing you want to do is present. Let's step back for a minute. Is it any surprise that our thoughts so directly influence our feelings? The things that we tell ourselves matter. Here comes the behavior. After time spent grappling back and forth and procrastinating, you make it out the door and now you're just starting your presentation. As you begin, your thoughts are running rampant and you're feeling as anxious as ever. Even though you know the presentation subject very well, you can't seem to articulate your thoughts in the way you want to. You barely scrape through your presentation, stumbling on your words and failing to connect the points you worked so hard to create. In common terms, you choked up. How many times have we done this? Gotten ourselves so worked out that we can barely make it through something that is typically well with our capabilities. This presentation put another dent in your confidence. The event seems to justify all those negative thoughts you had have about yourself. The cycle repeats and repeats and repeats. Thoughts are the words that run through our mind. They are the things you tell yourself about what is going on around you. There are many different thoughts you could have about a single situation. Feelings come and go as different things happen to you. You might feel happy, angry, and sad all in one day. Some feelings are comfortable, but they are not bad. Everyone has these feelings from time to time. Actions are the things you do or the way you behave. Your thoughts and feelings have a big impact on how you act. If you feel happy, you are likely to do nice things. But if you feel angry, you might want to act mean. Now, here is an example of how thoughts, feelings, and actions are interrelated with each other. Okay, so the situation is my friend Emma hasn't spoken to me as much as usual over the past week. So your thoughts might be Emma hasn't talked to me much this week. She must be mad at me. And then your actions would be because I was upset, I ignored Emma and avoided her at school. And then your feelings may be I felt sad and hurt. So just because you have thought does not mean it is true. Your thoughts are guesses about why something happened or about something that might happen. Coming up with new thoughts will help you see a situation differently. If you are the friend of Emma, what would be your thoughts? What would be your feelings? And what would be your actions? Take note that coming up with new thoughts will help you see a situation differently. So if you have negative thoughts, of course, you will have negative feelings, negative actions. But if you change how you perceive the situation, then you might root out to new feelings and new actions. Okay, so I hope you get the drift of the importance of changing our thoughts to positive one. Okay, so here is another activity which is putting myself in the shoes of Emma. Now, The situation is this: if you are in the same situation as the person in the given example, what would be your new thoughts, new feelings, and new actions? Write your responses in your journal and copy the format below, then answer the following guide questions. For our guide questions, in times of adversities, how does creating new thoughts, feelings, and actions help you win in life? After which, you are going to write your responses in your journal. Number one, what concepts have you learned from this module? And what have you discovered about yourself in relation to the module? You may deny this, but as an adolescent, you can become very sensitive to criticism, even if it is intended to be a constructive one. That is why evaluating your thoughts, feelings, and actions is important. In this activity, delve into the ocean of your experiences and think of a specific situation that made you worry or problematic. It could be a school-related or family problem, issues with one of your friends, or maybe a bittersweet relationship with your crush or lover. Then come up with new thoughts to help you see the situation differently. Let us now go to our post-test set A. The direction is read carefully the statements below. Classify them according to the aspects of the self in which they belong. Write your answers in your journal. Example, I go to church and attend masses every Sunday. So what kind of self is that? The answer is spiritual self. So you're going to recall the different aspects of self. We have the physical self, the spiritual self, the nutritional self, contextual self, intellectual, emotional, interactional. Okay, so those are the different kinds of self you're going to put here. And let's start. Number one, I like sitting in front of a window watching the rain and the gloomy weather while listening to my favorite song. Number two, I have freckles on my face, symmetrical eyebrows, brown eyes, and a pouty pair of lips. Number three, I can easily engage and communicate with people, especially people who are younger or older than me. Number four, every time my mother cook adobo or for dinner, she always adds the pork's liver to give it a different flavor, but I do not like eating the liver. Number five, my favorite branch of science is chemistry because it helps me understand the world around me, from the changing colors of leaves to cheese manufacturing and soap making. Then, for post-test set B, you are now to identify whether the following statements are products of your thoughts, feelings, or actions. Again, you're going to write your answers in your journal. Number one, I accidentally hacked the person beside me when I learned that I got accepted in my dream university. Number two, I studied hard last night and aced the physics test. It made me happy. Number three, during the pandemic of 2020, the people were extra cautious in everywhere they go because they are afraid of getting infected by the virus. Number four, during the pandemic of 2020, the people were extra cautious because they know that the virus is deadly. And number five, when I finished that test in physics, I told our teacher that one of my classmates is cheating because it is wrong. For your assignment, my dear students, you're again to answer the situation here and put your new thoughts, new feelings, and new actions. Okay, so the situation is your brother trusts you so much and listens to you every time he had a problem. One day, you notice that he seems problematic and uneasy. Every time he is anxious about something, he plays mobile games all day and skips his meals.
You approach him and ask what's wrong. He told you that he failed his chemistry exam and that he is afraid that your parents will scold him. Take his gadgets and ground him for a week. Thus, to avoid getting punished, he lied and told your parents he passed in the test. If you are in his situation or position, what would be your thoughts, feelings, and actions after knowing that you failed a test? Copy the charts below in your journal, then write your responses. Congratulations, my dear students. So we are now done with quarter one, module three of personal development, evaluating thoughts, feelings, and actions. Thank you very much, my dear students, for listening. I hope you learned a lot from our lesson today. So keep tuning in for the next module. So we have 8 modules for quarter one. Please do keep in touch, and these are my contact information. So once again, this is Ma'am Nerissa Beatrice, your personal development teacher. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share my videos. Thank you.